Guys, hey.
Is it better to speak into the side? Or the
Oh, no,
top?
you can. They're
Anywhere.
different. So mine's on the front.
Oh.
Yours is like this.
Oh, okay.
Someday we'll have two of the same microphone. But I'm very lazy with my setup. Not lazy, but I'm just not
This
like.
is a really nice setup.
You like
Yeah,
it?
yeah, it's one of the nicest setups I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you
so,
so much.
cozy, and you got little animals.
I know. It's the petting
I
zoo.
love Mackenzie's dog, and it's so cute.
Betty. Oh my God,
She's
she's
the
such a lover.
sweetest.
Well, guys, welcome back to another episode of the best podcast on the planet.
Oh my God! Wow, I can't wait to experience this.
Oh my God, Guy. Okay, so wait, this is like one of my favorite episodes yet because you're here. If you don't already know this incredible person, this is Natalie Palamides. And she's one of the most talented people on the planet.
No, stop.
And I'm going to talk about you for a second before we even get into it.
Okay.
Because I am obsessed with this person. I'm obsessed with your work, with your artistry, with everything. Like, everyone needs to follow Natalie everywhere and see her show whenever you can.
Thank you, Queen. I love you so much.
I love you
and
so much.
Mackenzie's so supportive. We're both fangirls of each other, and I'm just so stoked to be here and to be your friend.
Oh my God.
And yeah,
I love you.
When Mackenzie moved to LA, we just knew right away.
Yeah, we
that
did.
we'd be friends. Right?
When did we connect? Like,
I think it was about 6 months before you moved here.
Yeah,
right.
probably.
And you were like, I'm thinking about it, and I was like, perfect.
yeah.
Here's my number. Let's be friends.
That's what's so cool about you too. You were so like immediately just open and like gracious and cool and nice, you know?
Well, I think you can just tell from your online presence that you're just awesome.
Thanks.
And I just knew we'd click.
We do.
and
We
be
do
friends.
click.
Yeah, yeah. How do you like living in LA?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I really love it.
Yeah.
I'm going to New York. I haven't been back to New York yet,
Yes.
but I'm going back to New York June 4th for the show that I'm
Right.
doing with Steph Barkley. If you're in New York, June 4th,
Go
and
see
you're
it.
listening to this, go see it. It's going to be at Gotham Comedy Club. It's sponsored by WISP. It's like to help women have access to reproductive health care. It's like really cool.
Yeah.
Natalie was going to do the show, but now she's on hold for a commercial.
Yeah. I do commercial acting work.
a lot of it. And you're so good at it.
Thank you. You know what? It's a secret talent of mine doing commercials. I can't really do the bite and smile. Have you ever?
The bite and smile.
Have you had an audition for a bite and smile yet?
No.
Where they give you a piece of bread or a tortilla and you have to, it's,
you
usually
have to,
for
like, eat
McDonald's or something like that. And you have to bite it and smile. But I usually just end up laughing because it's so ridiculous to me to like, but you have to go.
No, I did have to do one of those.
Oh, you
I didn't
did,
know
you
it was
did.
called a bite and smile.
Oh, yes,
But
yes.
I did. I had to do it for Taco Bell. I did not book it because it was so awkward.
Oh, so isn't it crazy? Like for Taco Bell, they'll give you like a sandwich bread. I'm like, what about a tortilla?
They
Or
didn't.
what do
Well,
give
they
you?
didn't give me anything. So
Oh.
I was actually on vacation when I got the commercial because that's how it
Okay, okay.
works. Whenever I go away, that's when I get something. So I was at my friend's house in North Carolina. No self-tape setup. So it was
Yeah.
like, just a house.
Yeah.
No blank wall to shoot in front of.
Yeah.
And I got this commercial from Taco Bell. And they were like, just put anything you want together and just take a bite as if it's a taco. So I found a
Oh.
tortilla in her house.
Wow.
And they wanted like a real close-up of the bite.
Oh God.
And so I had to take
Why
a
do
bite
they
of this
want
taco.
that?
And I was like, there's no way I'm booking this.
That's ridiculous.
It was hard. It was
yeah.
hard.
Wow. Self-tapes, doing a bite and smile with a self-tape. That's excruciating.
Yeah. Have you done it in person?
Yeah. I mean, back in the day, like pre-COVID,
yeah.
pretty much everything was in person for commercials. You would never do a self-tape for a commercial.
Right.
It was unheard of.
Adolf.
It was unheard of.
Unheard of. I thought he said Adolf. It was Adolf. I know. I had a virtual one the other day, but it was like a Zoom one. It was like
it's terrible.
in the room.
I feel like, how am I ever going to book anything ever again? All
you
this
won't.
Zoom
No,
stuff.
but you don't have to because
Yeah.
you're in there.
Well, I could go out of there any second.
That's
you know what
true.
I mean?
That's true. You never know.
I was saying to Mackenzie earlier that I always feel like I'm going to get fired from these commercials that I do because, in some of my work, I guess, people, if you haven't seen me perform, you might not know that I am quite often fully naked.
Yeah. With additional body parts,
Yeah.
flopping around there too.
Yeah, I have some props added in. Stretchy dick is like my go-to.
Yeah.
But I have this special on Netflix. Check it out. It's called Nate.
Please check it out, guys. Please.
And thanks, Mackenzie.
It's-
That's what brought you to me, no?
Yes. So I'll
That's
tell the
cool.
story too.
Okay,
so,
yeah.
So the reason I found out who Natalie was I was living with a girl, Emma, who does a lot of clown stuff too. Which she got into, I think, like we went to college together. Do you know Emma Simon at all?
Does she live out here?
She's in New York.
I haven't met
So
her.
you probably haven't like overlapped,
Okay.
but she's really great, and she like studied opera in college, but then got
Whoa.
really into clown like after college, and
Yeah.
she went and studied with Gallier a couple summers ago.
Okay.
So she's like in
She's
it, you
legit,
know,
yeah.
she's in it, and she was the one who was like, "You need to know who Natalie is. You need to watch
What?
this special." I hadn't heard of you. I hadn't like.
Well, how could you? I'm so niche. I'm really niche.
But to me, you're
thank you,
not
Emma.
now. Like to me, you're like my world. But
Yeah.
so she was like, "You need to watch this special on Netflix. It's called Nate." And I was like, "Cool, let's watch it." And I sat down and we sat down and watched it. And it was over. And I was like, that was the best thing I've ever seen.
What?
Like for real. I was like, I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Mackenzie.
And then that was it. And then I was like following you. And it's funny, you know, have you ever had that where like you follow somebody and you admire them from afar and then you like become friends with them and it's just like
It shatters your world
yeah.
in the best way.
In the best way.
Yeah. It's like a meet your hero situation. But
Yes.
I felt the same way about you. I mean,
which is so weird to
your
me.
videos. I think I'm just really attracted to your work because you bring like so much humanity to your characters, but they're so dumb and stupid still. And
Well, we're similar like that.
yeah, we have that in common.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're able to play stuff so straight and just commit to it wholeheartedly. And I think, but yeah,
Thanks.
but it's still so stupid and
that's
dumb and
and
silly.
that's what I feel like we need more of. You know?
Yeah, we need more
Because
stupid
it can get
stuff.
like, I feel like comedy is tricky. It can get really like, it can get like tropey.
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And silly in a way where it's like everyone's doing kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's hard to.
Well, especially nowadays in TV where there's like a dramedy illness going around. I feel like the dramedy bug.
Yeah.
Like, I think The Bear's a great show. I just want to say first off.
yeah.
But come on, dude. It's snagging all the comedy stuff. I'm like, that is not. I'm
Yeah.
like, that is a stressful show, dude.
See,
Where
I
are
don't pay
the laughs?
attention. Is it snagging comedy awards? Is it?
It's snagging on, snatching them up. And I'm happy because, you know, a few of my friends work on the show. But I'm just like, I don't think it should be snagging all of them up. Maybe it should win a few. You know,
Yeah.
it's really well done. And they do say it's a comedy, but I'm like, it should be in the other category.
They
Like-
should do like a genre blending category.
Right? Yeah,
You know?
genre blend or dramedy category.
Yeah,
'Cause
do like a dramedy.
same with Transparent. Like the first season, I mean, just because something's 30 minutes long
Yeah.
doesn't make it a comedy. I feel
Yeah.
like they're using like the time limit as the,
like
you know, the
because it's 30 minutes, it's considered a sitcom-y
yeah,
thing
yeah,
or in that
exactly.
world.
They're using that
Interesting.
as the categorization, but it's
But it ain't working.
but it. I mean, I love Transparent also, but that show,
I don't think I've ever seen it.
where are the laughs, man? I mean, there are. I mean, first, second season, and also I'm a fan of that show too.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
mean to hate. I don't mean to.
No,
be
we're not
hater.
hating. We're not hating. We're just
Yeah,
observing.
Yeah, just observing.
Yeah.
But yeah, a blended category,
Yeah.
I think could be a good solution.
Because everything is very genre blendy these days.
Yeah, everything
You know?
is.
Which I love.
Yeah, let's
What
be
about-
free. We don't need to be confined by genre.
No.
Yeah.
We're not confined by genre.
No,
we're
we're
not.
not. We're not.
We're to
We're
segue
not.
into Natalie's work. So you do
Yes.
so much. So you've been to Edinburgh
Yes.
it's going to be the third show
This will be my third time going with my own show.
Yeah. We got to get into all the nitty-gritty of your work.
Please.
So there was Laid, that was the first
that
one.
was my first show.
And then there was Nate.
Yes.
And now there's WEER, which I've
Yes.
seen like 8 times now.
Yeah.
And I
been so
love
supportive.
it. The reason I keep going is not only because like I love to watch you perform, but because like I love to see the changes and like the growth
the
and
progress.
yeah, the experimenting and
Hopefully it's progress.
it's so good.
I feel like I digressed the last time I did it.
You think?
I did it on the 20th, and I was like, this is a mess. But I have to do some serious, like, I have to do what is it, haul over? I have to rehash the entire structure of the show, I think.
Really? Okay,
Well, we
let's
can-
get
we
into
can get
it.
into it.
Let's
Yeah.
get into it. So, because I am so. Let's start with like your background. Like,
Yeah,
I want to
okay,
know
okay.
how you got started in all this. Like
In clown stuff.
in clown, like in acting? Where did it all kind of begin for you?
Well, I think growing up, and maybe a kind of a similar story, I was always class clown, and I was always interested in performing, and I, was just started performing in the classroom, and my teacher would make me his assistant at the chalkboard and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then in middle school, got into doing like the school plays and
Middle school, you said?
yeah, middle school, and then but I guess even in elementary school, I was doing like the little plays or whatever they had. Oh, actually, you know what? The first time, for some reason, in kindergarten, they had each kid perform their favorite storybook, and so my first solo show was technically The Little Red Hen that I did in kindergarten. Do you know that story?
No, I don't know it at all.
Well, it's about a hen that she asks all of her friends if they'll help her grow the wheat and help her mill the wheat and help her bake the bread, and everybody turns her down. But then when she makes the bread, they all want a piece.
Of course.
And so, isn't that the way?
That's deep for elementary school.
I know, but it stuck with me. But then, just got into doing like whatever, like like terrible semblance of improv there was at my high school. I was
Where'd
the
you go
Wicked
to high
Witch.
school?
Western Pennsylvania.
Okay, yeah.
Outside
East
Pittsburgh.
Coaster.
Yeah.
Hey. Love it.
New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of these things I already knew, but for the audience.
Yeah, for the lay person, for not the people who aren't fangirls yet.
Yeah.
So then, I was a Wicked Witch in middle school. I crushed that role. I was the Grinch.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Just crushed some classics in high school. And then in college, I was so upset to go to this school because I didn't make it into any theater programs that I wanted to.
So you auditioned for theater
I auditioned
programs.
for theater programs. I wanted to go to Emerson or CMU or somewhere like super fancy.
Yeah.
Everybody turned me away. And so the
big mistake.
Yeah, huge.
And
And now I will say they're teaching my special in the curriculum at Emerson, or somebody, one of the professors reached out to me and said she was teaching it. So
wow.
take that, Emerson University.
This episode is sponsored by Emerson University.
Yeah. No, they're great. I think they have a comedy major there now, which I'm like, they need to stop that because it's only gonna hurt the. I mean, like, you need to bring other like POVs into comedy. You don't study comedy.
Yeah,
I don't think. Anyway,
maybe as a special class.
Technique. Yeah. You could have like a minor. Anyway.
Yeah.
What do I know? So,
everything.
I was so upset to go to this school because it's known as the #1 party school in the United States of America. It's a state school in Pennsylvania.
What
it's like
school?
really easy to get into. It's called Indiana University of Pennsylvania.
Okay.
But it was such a blessing. Their theater program was amazing. And I had this amazing professor, a bunch of amazing professors, but my favorite one, his name's Rick Kemp, and he studied with Lecoq, who was Gollier's teacher also.
Wow, okay.
So I shared like Lecoq was the granddaddy of my clown teachers, like all in the same family.
Yeah.
But he introduced me to clowning and devised theater, and then I got super, super lucky because he brought in this theater company from Philadelphia called the Pig Iron Theater Company to do a residency at my school when they were developing their program for like post-grad students.
Oh, cool.
And so they tested their curriculum on us, and so I was introduced to clowning and melodrama and devised theater, and they kind of showed me this way of creating a show, which was making a show through improvisation instead of sitting down and writing it.
Which is so hard for me.
Yeah, I mean, well,
it's so hard. I feel
it's
like
much more fun to just be on your feet and like, It's hard to sit, and it's a different part of your brain too.
It is, and you can. For me at least, I can have. I also feel like I have ADHD, like, and it really fucks with me. Like,
it can fuck your whole day. It can fuck your whole day.
It can fuck my whole week, my whole month. I swear.
ADHD. I suffer from it as well.
Are you on any medication for it?
No, I'm unmedicated, and I have tried to take medications, and sometimes it like focuses me, but like on the wrong thing.
Yeah,
I'll be hyper focused on Twitter, and I'll be like, like I'll be knocking out some tweets or Instagrams or. I don't know. I also I'm wary of taking medications because I'm like, I always am curious of the side effects that they don't really tell you so much about. And
Yeah.
we can get into some conspiracy theory stuff if you
Please,
want.
yes.
But people tell me I shouldn't be so upfront about this, and I don't identify as a person with chronic illness, but
Yeah.
I have been diagnosed with chronic Lyme disease, but I don't claim
right.
it.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
want
yeah.
that to define me.
Right. No.
But because of that, I had to deep dive into all this alternative health stuff, especially during the time when I didn't know what it was. And look, we're ADDing right now because
this
you were
is good,
asking
this
me
is
about
good.
how I came up into comedy. And now I'm talking about
We're
Lyme
talking about Lyme
disease.
disease. Everything comes back to Lyme disease.
Yeah. It comes back to Lyme. But I mean, you're from New York, so you must have a bunch of friends with Lyme.
Oh yeah,
Lyme time.
my grandma's best friend has it. Her dog has it.
Fuck.
It's rampant.
Dude,
Those deer ticks.
I mean, come on. And also, so there's a conspiracy theory with Lyme that it was created in a lab
I think that
in
was
the 1950s.
proven, wasn't it?
Are you serious?
I mean, unless I'm also
Well, there's other sources that say that there's evidence of Lyme existing in cavemen's DNA or something like that, which makes me feel a little bit better. But I asked my doctor about this, who is a Lyme expert, and I said, listen, I'm just going to be blunt with you. There is this conspiracy theory that Lyme was created in a lab in the 50s. What do you think about that? And he's like, yeah, I think that's true. And he was like, I think Lyme always existed, but they made it stronger in the lab. And which makes sense because growing up, my parents didn't warn us about Lyme, didn't warn us about ticks. I mean, I was out there in the Pennsylvania woods.
Yeah. It wasn't even a
shit
thought when
up.
I was really a little kid.
Yeah, it wasn't even a
It
thought.
wasn't.
No, and
Actually.
now my nephew, he came back out of the woods with 5 ticks on. I'm like, where are all these ticks coming from? I mean, we had ticks.
Yeah.
But I could go into my backyard and, I mean, I never found one on me growing up.
No, I know me either. And I was a country girl too.
Yeah.
So that's weird. That
Yeah.
is a conspiracy to look into deeper. But I've heard that conspiracy theory too about Lyme's disease.
Yeah, but
Lyme or limes?
Lime? I think it's Lyme.
I grow up hearing Lyme's disease.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? What is language, right? As long as you know what it means.
Exactly.
And I know what you mean when you say Lyme's disease. It means
That's
the
all
same
we
thing
need.
as Lyme disease.
It does.
So let's say it's both. Lyme time. But
when were you diagnosed with it?
in 2020, but I started getting sick in 2016.
Damn.
But then my doctor was like, you could have had it. You could have gotten bit when you were a kid and it could have lied dormant in your system all that time and then resurfaced because of stress or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know what and then he said also you can get Lyme from mosquito bite. If you're
just kill me.
Yeah, just kill me now. That's what I'm thinking. And also I am somebody who I have fears, obviously, but I don't like to let them rule me. So if I have a fear, I purposefully will put myself into the situation to fight against it.
Yeah.
And I am terrified of getting a tick bite or, but because of that, I go backpacking and I do all these hikes. But then at the same time, I'm wondering, I'm like, why are you doing that? I'm like, you don't have to go
I know.
into the mountains.
To these ticks.
Yeah. I'm not scared of you. That is honestly at its most basic level. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's what, when I go, I'm like, why am I going on these woodsy hikes where at the same time, I'm so terrified of getting a tick. And then my brother
But
was
if you already have it,
that's what my brother said. He's like, why are you scared? He's like, you already have it.
Yeah. Maybe that's why. Maybe subconsciously you're like, it's already fucking too late for me.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Eat me alive. She had a tick on her and I was
Did
but
she?
it was here. So I don't think it's really a big deal out here, right? Or is it?
No, you can get it here. My friend,
Cool. Great.
Lizzie Cooperman, she got Lyme in Los Feliz from a tick. So just be wary. Spray yourself with, I think, vanilla or something. It deters them. There's some natural good tick sprays. Or honestly, just use the poison. It's better than getting bit.
Honestly, yeah, just use it. Well, great about Lyme. I'm glad that we're giving Lyme a platform and we're
yeah. I mean, there needs to be more awareness because I mean, I went undiagnosed for 4 years.
That's crazy.
And was constantly dismissed in the doctor's office. They were like, it's just allergies or stress. And then eventually my left arm and the left side of my face went numb.
Oh my God.
And couldn't feel it. And so then I went to the hospital. And then even at the hospital, they said, everything's fine. all your tests are normal. And I was
They
like,
do that. These doctors do that.
Yeah.
And especially, not to be like, gender, whatever, but especially with women.
Yeah.
Whenever we're advocating for ourselves in a doctor's office, they're like, it's all in your head, sweetheart.
Yeah,
Like,
I
it's
know.
terrible.
It's hysteria. Women are hysterical, and we need to flip the script on that.
We do.
We know what's going on with our bods sometimes.
We do.
But sometimes bitches be cray too, so I'm not trying to,
Well, I think I have PMDD.
Oh, do you?
Do you know about that?
No.
You know about PMDD? Well, it's like when you're
Postmenopause. Is it? Wait,
it's something like
too young.
post-menstrual. It's like with hormones with your period.
Okay.
And it's like, because like you PMS and like you feel like emotional or like you have heightened emotions.
Sometimes I cry like
mine.
like
I get
crazy
intense.
girl. Yeah.
And maybe you have it too. I don't know. But
Yeah.
but it's like I have like a week. It's like the week before my period where it's like feelings of hopelessness, feeling of like, what am I
No.
doing with like it's. But then I get my
sad,
period
sad,
and I'm like,
sad.
I love my life, and it's
Interesting.
It's really mood swingy.
Dude, hormones can fuck with your head so much,
I
dude.
know.
I mean, one time I was having a period swing, and sometimes it hits you and you don't, even though it happens every month, you cannot see it coming. You
I
never
know.
see it coming.
Every month it's a surprise.
And every time it happens, I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why am I so sad?
I
And
know.
what's that Boy Genius song Cool About It came on?
Yeah.
And I had it on repeat all night and just cried all night thinking
my
about
God.
my parents.
No.
So like the feelings are real, but it just like
Yeah.
uncovers some stuff. But
Oh my God.
I mean,
no, hormones are fucking and I can always
Yeah.
see it with my face too, because I get like hormonal acne around my chin.
you absolutely don't.
Well, right
Your
now I
skin
don't.
is flawless.
Because right now I'm in my good phase of the
Oh,
month
okay,
where my
okay.
bloat is gone. I
Gotcha.
get really bloated too. Like my weight fluctuates like 10 pounds.
Yeah. What?
I swear to
I
God.
do 10 pounds too.
Really?
One week I can weigh 10 pounds heavier, and the next week it's gone. That must be the same thing.
It's the hormonal shit. It's like the PMDD. And I don't know exactly. I haven't been diagnosed. I'm literally self-diagnosing. But I feel like I'll read the symptoms online and I'm like, I have every single one.
yeah. But you know what? Sometimes I feel like doctors do that too. You'll just
Well,
tell
they-
them all your symptoms that you have also read about online, and they've read about not online but in a textbook. And
Yeah.
so it's like, where's the difference?
There isn't one.
We're all
I get all
reading-
my news
I mean,
on TikTok.
all the schooling is online nowadays anyways.
I know.
No, doctors are good. We should listen to them sometimes. I mean, look at me discrediting you. I doctored your ass just now. I was like, you don't have acne. It's all in your head.
No, but right
You're
now I don't. Right
hysterical.
now my skin is nice.
Yeah,
it's clear.
You're glowing.
Thank you.
You are glowing.
It's makeup.
No,
You're glowing too.
It's makeup.
Wait, so back to your
my
your
journey
your
into
life.
clown.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you go to school, you go to college.
I was introduced to this theater professor who introduced me to clown and this amazing theater company who are also clowns and devised theater. And I was like, I love this. And I got an opportunity to work with that theater company in Philly
nice.
on one of their devised plays that they were making.
Mm.
And this play was based on the work of Charles Ludlam,
Mhm.
who is also inspired Cole Escola too. I think I
Love.
read that Cole is also inspired by Charles Ludlam.
Cole comes up for some reason in like every episode of this podcast.
Maybe because they're a genius.
they are a genius.
Have you seen?
No, but I'm gonna be
Ah.
home in August.
You have
so
to
I
see
will
Oh
be
Mary.
going.
Yeah. You have to
I
see.
will be
You have to
going.
see. It's the best thing I've ever
So
seen.
you saw it.
Yes, it is the best thing I've ever seen. But so they were also inspired, I think I read, by Charles Ludlam, who was this famous theater artist that came up in the 1970s and 80s. And he was famous for doing classical plays in drag. And he would bring these super campy elements to it, but also still be able to move people to tears. And I loved how he played like with both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
And I was super inspired by that. And so this play that they were working on was based on the work of Charles Ludlam. And so everything we were doing was in drag. And that's the first time I did drag.
Oh my God.
And that was the first time I ever did my Nate character was in workshops for their play, which was
Wow.
called I Promised Myself to Live Faster.
And for the audience again, what was the name of the theater company?
Pig Iron Theater Company.
And they're still going?
Yes, they're still going. They're
Sick.
still active in Philadelphia, and they make incredible work. And I would go see them if you have any chance you get. Also, speaking of Michigan, I'm doing my show Nate at University of Michigan.
You're doing Nate?
in February 2025.
Wow.
Isn't
wait,
that
I'm
crazy?
obsessed.
Isn't that
I want to
insane?
come.
Yeah,
I'm going to come
please
to Michigan.
Yeah,
Wait.
come.
Okay, wait. So that leads me to a
Wait,
question.
oh yeah, I'm hopping all over the
No,
place.
no, no, no. Well, while we're here in this little moment we're sharing
Yes.
with that,
Yes.
because it's a show. How do you have to get? How in your head is Nate? Is it locked in there like you could jump right back in, or?
I'll need to probably watch it, but I never wrote it down.
Right.
I have like a tech sheet where like the cue line is listed,
Wow.
but so the way I make my shows is I just improvise over and over and over again, and eventually it just gets locked into my head.
I'm obsessed.
And I make like little changes and change things as you've seen like each show. But eventually the script just comes out of me doing it over and over again. And especially when I go to Edinburgh, it'll really get locked in because you're doing it every day.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so then after I worked with Pig Iron on their play, I moved out to LA because I was dating somebody here at the time. And I was in between New York or LA, but I was like, my honey is in LA.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, I should go be with him. And then we broke up about a year after I lived here. And then also, I will say in college, I interned at Conan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and my honey who lived in LA, he was friends with somebody who worked at Conan.
Okay, cool.
So I like had an in.
Nice.
But otherwise never would have gotten my resume looked at. I mean, it is true what they say. Like you have to know somebody kind of. I don't want that to be true. I don't ascribe to it, you still have to like find your own way. You still have to grind. Like you've grinded your ass off. You made your own way.
I'm trying. It's so hard. It's so hard.
Isn't it?
Because
so
and the thing of it is too, and like not to like be
Which
like
is all relative,
all
by the
nepo
way.
baby stuff, but it is a real thing. Like it
takes it out of you,
advantage that people who come from a family that are already really engrossed in the industry already have those
super
connections.
Connected.
There's no doubt that is the biggest help.
Pretty much everybody I interned with, I was the only like random person from Pennsylvania. There was one other guy who he had sent into the office a cardboard cutout of his body. And so I think that caught their attention, but he was the only other like random person without like family in the business. Everybody else, their dad was like a comedian who had worked with Conan, or their parents had this one guy, his parents, lovely guy, but his parents wrote Planet of the Apes.
Great movie.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely legendary. Absolutely legendary. I love sci-fi.
I do too.
But yeah, everybody was kind of like on that level, or like had family somehow in the business.
Yeah. It's really tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
And it's cool because neither of us come from like an industry family.
No, my parents are hardworking business, but they're both in sales.
Nice.
How about your parents?
It's so random. So I'm pretty lower middle class. I don't even know what it would be considered in the 90s. But my mom was like a stay-at-home mom for the first like 10 years of my life, and she would like babysit other kids and stuff.
Okay.
And then my grandparents owned like a bus, like a transportation company for disabled children.
Oh, wow.
And so he was like a driver and also a DJ.
Whoa. Okay, your dad is epic.
So funny.
Your dad's a DJ. That is
like,
so cool.
How I associate DJ now is like ricket, like like, but like my dad like does like middle school dances and like
weddings
and like graduations and stuff. But like he still does it. Like he loves it.
How disturbing is it to think back to middle school dances?
Well, fun story.
Okay.
So my dad, when I was like in middle school, dances were horrific. But when my dad when I was like in 4th grade, maybe my dad would be doing middle school dances all the time.
Yeah.
And he would like bring me along to sell the glow necklaces. And that was like my job.
That is cute.
And it was so funny because like I'm like 9 going to this middle school dance, and I'm like, oh, it's like dark and the lights are on. I've never been to a dance yet.
And they're so horny, those.
Everyone's like kind of like grinding.
Yeah,
and, like,
those early teens, man.
And I'm like, you want to buy a glow necklace? 2 for $1. But I felt so cool, And then he'd like give me $20 at the end of the night. Like, it was cute.
So
it was really cute. I loved it. Yeah, it was cute.
Yeah, those. I mean, all the grind. I didn't really get down with grinding until. I mean, I was a late bloomer for sure. I think like maybe like college was like the first time I grinded my ass into somebody's dick. But like, some of those middle school dances, they were having like sex on the flow in
Oh,
there.
I know. Well, and I'm from
yeah.
Schenectady, New York, which is kind of it's kind of like nasty, like
Oh, really? They
nasty
get
in like a
nasty.
woo way. Like
Yeah.
it's like those kids are not
Yeah,
kids.
I know. The hormones are flying, man.
Whew.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah.
But we were like at high school prom, like on our hands and knees, basically. Like, what
Yeah.
were we doing?
No wonder Seinfeld wanted to date a 17-year-old.
I would too.
Those
No.
kids are not kids.
They are.
You heard it
full-blown
here.
adults.
Yeah.
It just isn't like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, spooky.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? Selling glow necklaces at middle school dances.
Yeah. And we were talking about your parents, your
my
dad.
parents.
That's so sweet. Are your parents
Yeah.
still together?
No, they divorced
okay,
when I was in
okay.
5th grade. So
Ah.
it was, my mom got remarried and
Okay.
it was a whole thing. But it is interesting, like to build up in this industry.
Yeah.
And I want to know, like now, like segueing into your kind of like you moved to
Trajectory
LA
or something. Oh, yeah.
You're interning at Conan.
Yeah.
When did because you were already doing like devised work through that theater company.
Yes. Yeah.
When did your first kind of solo show
Happen?
and when did you like?
Yeah, okay. So when I first moved to Los Angeles, I was doing a ton of weird jobs because I wanted to have a job that was flexible enough to let me still do comedy stuff and audition. So I wanted something, that was just really easy. So like I was a security guard. I sold scam acting classes at the mall. I sold
Nice.
scam sports packages, and that stuff was just really weighed on me heavily because you have to like kind of lie to people. I wasn't good at it. I made like barely any money, but and then I was doing background work on Pretty Little Liars.
Oh, really?
And at the time I had been doing Groundlings and UCB and iOS. I just like took as many
So you
comedy
did all the
classes.
improv
I was
classes,
doing
yeah.
everything that I could. And was doing open mics and stuff like that. I would just like get up at a mic and like slobber. I was terrible at stand up. Still am.
No, me too. I don't know what I'm doing for the show on the 4th.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing. yet.
Oh, you're gonna crush.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
I can
It's,
help you like brainstorm if you wanna like.
Yeah, they want it's like sex stories and like all that.
Oh,
but again,
you're gonna
I'm
crush.
I'm like you. I was kind of a really late bloomer.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about.
Oh,
The
right.
late bloomer. I was a
Yes.
late bloomer too. Like
Oh,
I
okay.
wasn't really, and I've never really been like a crazy like
Sex addict.
sex person.
Me neither. I mean, I've said this on so many podcasts now. It's so like kind of embarrassing, vulnerable to share, but I'm kind of an incel. Like I haven't fucked anybody since October 2022.
Wow.
That's
Well,
long, right?
honestly, no. Like I'm on the same page with
No.
you. Yeah. But you know what it is for me? You know what it is for me?
So long.
It's so long.
Yeah.
And then it gets to a point. It gets to a point where it's like at first you oh wait, hold on. Did this go?
Oh yeah.
Hold on. One day we want. Oh, there we go. Okay. It had stopped. You hit 30.
Do you want to turn around again just so
Oh
you can?
yeah.
There you go. There you go. Okay.
Okay, we were just talking
You
about
get to a point.
being prudes now.
Yeah.
I'm not a prude, but
I'm not a prude, but like I
also don't like fiend for it.
me neither. And I'm fine. Like just jerk. Like after I jerk off, I'm like, okay.
I know who
Took
needs
care
a
of
man?
that.
Like,
Yeah.
this feels better, bitch. You know. But no, but I don't know. Like I kind of hit this point where I was like, you know what? Like I don't just like to. I had a friend who would tell me like, you need to take your pussy off a pedestal, and I'm like, it's not really
What?
on a pedestal.
No, I don't have a pedestal. I just like.
But I don't just want anyone to like be inside me either.
I know, dude. And also, like, some guys are nasty. I mean,
A lot of guys are nasty.
I'm surprised I didn't catch anything from a couple exes ago. I dated this guy who like fucked anything that would walk.
Yeah.
And yeah, surprisingly didn't pass anything on. But yeah, but I just like I thought for a while that I was supposed to like doing one night stands. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
this is what you do and it's fun. And then I realized like I don't really like it that much.
Same.
and
Same.
I like just only kind of want to fuck somebody that I like have a crush on.
Me too.
Yeah, or that I like actually like. I don't have to be in love.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I want
But I
to
have to be
actually.
emotionally kind of in some way
Yeah.
attracted to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just it's rare when I actually like somebody or meet
Yeah.
somebody I actually like, which I think is okay. It's kind of good.
I think so too.
No, right?
We're kind of exactly the same.
We have taste.
we have standards.
we have standards. But yeah.
But yeah. Okay, so ADDing again.
Oh, yeah.
No. Okay, so you do the groundlings.
Oh yeah. So I was doing background work on Pretty Little Liars.
Oh yeah.
And I dropped a candy on the ground, and I said, I'm still gonna eat. Nobody was talking that whole day. It was like really introverted background actors that day.
Yeah.
And I had just said aloud, I'm still gonna eat this. And this girl laughed, and so I finally got to talking to somebody, made a little friend. And she was doing costumes for Cirque du Soleil show. And she was like, there's a clown at Cirque who's starting to teach these clown classes called the Idiot Workshop. You should take them. And we got to talking about clown.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love clown. I did it in college and started taking the Idiot Workshop with this guy, John Gilkey. And it's still going. And it was like the first round of classes he had ever done. And he made a group. He like picked people from his classes that he wanted to make a group with, and we had this group called Wet the Hippo, where we made devised group clown shows.
Nice.
And I had been yearning for that because even though I was doing Groundlings and UCB and all this theater stuff, I missed like the theatricality of doing clown and devised theater work.
Yeah.
It's like has a different energy to it.
It does, yeah.
And I really missed it. And then so after that group kind of disbanded just because a lot of people from that group were cast in Las Vegas shows after we were together for about 3 years, and a couple people were going to grad school. So we just naturally like fizzled apart.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what do I do? And I was like, you know what? I can do stand-up shows, but I can do my thing at stand-up shows. I don't have to do stand-up. And I started doing my weird kind of character, physical comedy bits at stand-up shows.
Yeah.
And at like variety shows, like just wherever I could get 5 to 10 minutes at the clubhouse or, wherever. And
was it the same kind of thing every time you were doing, or were you just kind of improvising and doing different?
I would improvise. I would come up with a costume, and then I'd be like, oh, what do I want to do with this costume? And I used one of the tent poles of clowning, which is knowing that the audience is always there with you, so there's never a fourth wall. And I knew I always wanted to play with the audience, so
which you're so good at.
Oh, thank you.
I've never seen anything like it, for real.
Oh my gosh.
You walk out on that stage and everyone is immediately with you. You have
Thank
them in
you.
the palm of your hand, for
Thank
real.
you, Mackenzie.
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it.
Anytime.
It's fun. I mean, that's what's most fun for me is to like really like be there with the audience and engage with them. And so I would have a costume and come up with an objective for the character. I would come up with a character based on the costume, come up with an objective, and then just come up with a few beats so I could improvise my way through it, and then still be open to, if I found a game with the audience, to changing the bit. And then most of the time I'd find something better than what I had planned when I was playing with the audience. And then the same way I would devise my shows, I would just, if I found something, I would do it again and, kind of expand upon it that way. But so eventually I would just cut my teeth making these like 5-10 minute sets. And then opportunity came up to audition for Just for Laughs.
Oh, yeah.
And they had just added on like a characters segment.
I made it to the final round a couple years ago in New York.
Yeah. You should make it to the,
well, now I don't think I think they went bankrupt.
Oh, yeah.
Which sucks. Because it was I had a great time.
It was a great opportunity for everybody, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
were you a new character?
Yeah, so I went to the New Faces.
Nice.
And for characters.
Yeah.
And after I did my set there, I was like, well, okay, I feel like I've done the like 5-minute bit thing. I should do something a little more substantial. And so that's what propelled me into making my first 1-hour show.
Nice.
And
which was Laid, yeah?
Which was Laid. It's about a woman who lays an egg every day, and she has to decide whether she's going to raise it or eat it.
It feels very, who's that? Oh, God. Who's the playwright with the woman who is buried in the sand up to her neck?
Oh, Godot. Beckett.
Beckett. It's very Samuel Beckett.
It's very Beckett-y. Thank you. That's a huge compliment.
You're welcome.
I definitely am inspired by Beckett. He's one of my favorite playwrights. Yeah.
Me too. Were we the same?
Oh my God, we like the same person.
I know.
We like Never Fucking We Love Beckett.
We're artists.
Yeah. We just care about our art more than we care about Beckett and art more than fucking.
Yeah.
I would fuck Beckett. in a
Me
heartbeat.
too. I bet you he would put it down.
We'd have a threesome.
We would.
Yeah,
we would. He wouldn't know what to do with us. He'd be
Oh
like,
my
"What?
God,
Ladies, they're everywhere."
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we'd really unleash on him too, because we have all
we
this
would.
sexual energy, just, like,
Exactly.
waiting to get out.
Yeah.
But yeah. So then I was super fortunate, and I took my show to Edinburgh, and I won the best newcomer that year with that show, Laid, the Egg Show. And then the theater company that produced me encouraged me to make a second show, because they were like, you really want to capitalize on the success you had the previous year, so you should make another show. And over there in the UK, that you don't exist if you're not making an hour every year. It's just like part of the comedy culture over there. You have to make a new hour every year. So they're like really
And you can't bring the
grinding.
same show back.
No, I mean, some people now, it's like become more of a thing to bring back the same show if it like garnered a following towards the end of the festival or something like that. But it used to be that like you're bringing a new hour every year, or like you're kind of irrelevant.
My plan is to go next year.
Oh my God, you would crush.
I know. I'm working actively on my show at the moment.
And what are you thinking?
I totally revamped it. What am I thinking for it?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a meta. So it is kind of it's like a blend of like a scripted play with improv throughout, because there is another character that you don't see as of now.
Oh.
And it's like a rehearsal.
I love
so you're
it.
watching. So I'm figuring it out. We'll talk offline about it. But
Okay. We'll offline, because we don't want any spoilers.
no spoilers. But
Yeah.
it's tricky for me, because I am so like, oh, I need to sit and write. But like, again, I'm such a on my feet person, so I'm finding that balance.
Yeah. Also, you
figuring
could
it
just try a show with like, you know, you could just invite some friends or like a small audience and say like, I'm just going to try doing my show without writing it.
Yeah,
if you wanted to try it out, that way of doing something like that. Yeah.
I really, we'll talk. We'll
talk
offline.
But because right now this is online. Yeah. So then I made Nate for the Edinburgh 2018.
Wow. Okay.
And such a long time ago, 6 years ago. And then somebody from Amy Poehler's company saw me perform it in Edinburgh, and they asked if I'd want to make it a special. And so,
what went through your head when that happened? Were you
my
like,
God, my mind
holy
was
shit?
my mind was blown.
Yeah.
My mind was blown, and I couldn't believe it was happening. And I was like, so surreal.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes like when something really good like that happens, the only way I can explain it is that I'm living in a simulation.
Yeah.
But I've been thinking about simulation theory a lot, and it feels so fucked up to say that, because it's like, you know, everything's perspective, right? But my life in comparison to like, you know, definitely some other people's lives is like way easier, way better. So I always feel like such an ass saying like, oh, when something serendipitous happens, it's because like the person playing my game like is leveling up or something. You know,
I kind of buy it. I mean, I am a conspiracy theorist a little bit.
Me too, a little bit.
I love it.
I think it's fun to think about. I think it's fun to think
my
about.
battery's gonna die.
Oh shoot.
So we'll
Okay, should we
pause this. We'll pause.
One thing he went viral for was saying that the water is turning frogs gay, but recently they found that there is evidence of the tap water turning frogs from male to female, and it's like scientifically been proven.
Wait, what?
True. So it's like that was true.
Whoa,
that was true.
That's crazy. I had not even heard of this.
Yes, yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah. We'll link the article here.
Ding, ding, ding. Click below.
But or like, you know, like supposedly aliens were conspiracy theory for a while, and then they released all this stuff that proved that to be true. But I mean, like, how could you ever not believe in aliens?
I know.
It's just like so.
Unless you think the Earth is flat and we live in a dome, and there is nothing else. I mean,
some
that's
people. But then, who do they think built the dome? Is it not aliens?
God. I think.
Oh, they think God.
I think are flat earthers.
Do they believe in God?
So my uncle, shout out Uncle Jeff.
Hey, Uncle Jeff.
My Uncle Jeff is a flat earther now.
No.
He got really and like honestly, it's funny to me, you know, but He got really into Trump. And
That's
like
okay.
all those like I don't even care.
Yeah.
Whatever. Honestly, at this point,
Everybody's got
everyone
family
sucks,
members.
so like
that-
we're good.
Yeah.
But no, he's like fully like a flat
Wow.
earther. Like we live in but he is very religious too. So I think he thinks like it's like God. You know, it's like God has us in a petri dish or something.
That is insane. I mean,
Yeah.
in that case, like the flat earther case, the simulation thing makes more sense to me that we're in a video game.
Yeah.
But
Because like glitches in the Matrix.
I mean, come on, dude.
There was okay, so this is a weird little story that happened to me. For years, I had a TV in my bedroom in high school, and I had lost the remote to my TV. Couldn't find it for like a year.
Shut the fuck up.
Lost it for like a year. I looked everywhere, okay? Everywhere for this remote.
Is a glitch in the Matrix.
I walk into my bedroom one day. It's in the middle of my floor. It's sitting in the middle of my floor. And I walked in. I know.
That is somebody's fucking with you.
I
dude.
know.
Somebody's
And
fucking
I
with you.
literally paused and I was like, "There's no way." I had been looking for it for like a year, and I'm like, unless one of my
What?
siblings was like fucking with me, but it wasn't like at that point when I was in high school,
Dude.
no one was talking about the
Yeah.
Matrix or conspiracies like that.
Yeah,
so I just
right.
like went about my day. But that looking back, I was like,
Dude.
wait, was that a glitch?
Oh, 100%. I mean, also like the Mandela effect, I think is
Yeah.
a huge evidence of a potential glitch because how does so many people remember it? So many people that it has a name for like the effect, the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
So many people misremember these consistent things.
Yeah.
There's no.
And
I
there have
mean,
been
what
some that
could
have
be
been
the explanation
debunked.
for that?
I think like
yeah.
wasn't the Berenstein Bears a big one?
Yeah, the Berenstein Bears.
Because it was Berenstain.
Yeah, but I remember Berenstein.
I do too. And I think a lot of companies gaslight you too. Like with the cornucopia with Fruit of the Loom.
Yeah.
Like there was at one point a cornucopia.
There was a cornucopia.
And people will post like pictures and videos of like, okay, this is proof, you know. So I think that brands sometimes will lie.
They gaslit us. There was definitely a cornucopia.
There was a cornucopia.
And but people are saying it's the Mandela effect, or is
Yeah.
it a glitch? Is the Mandela
Or
effect
timelines.
just like a more socially acceptable way to say I believe in glitches in the Matrix?
Yeah.
But timeline stuff is crazy, or like, you know, sometimes something so serendipitous happens, or like you run into somebody, and you know, it makes sense that, you know, people are in the same circles, but like when coincidence happens, that's just like
Yeah.
so. Okay, can I tell you a story about my ex-boyfriend? So I
Please,
told you
yeah.
I moved to LA for
This
my
is
boyfriend.
honey?
This is a sweet little honey pie. And this story's going to make him sound bad, but honestly, he was a great guy. This was like the only annoying thing that he ever did.
Mhm.
But it seems like he sounds like an asshole when I'm going to tell you this. Okay.
Okay.
So I moved here to LA and was obsessed with UCB. And every week we would go see the Facebook show, and I idolize these improvisers. And the Facebook show is when you volunteer and they invite somebody from the audience to come up, show them your Facebook, and they ask you stories about your life based on what they find on your Facebook.
Okay, that's
Okay?
fun.
Yeah.
Love that.
And so I so badly wanted to volunteer, but my honey pie, he was an up and coming actor, and he was like, these people are my peers, they're my colleagues. I don't want them to see my personal information through your page, like, so you can't volunteer.
Okay.
And I was like, please, can I volunteer? He's like, no. And so I was like, okay, like, try to respect that. But one show we went to, nobody was volunteering, and the improviser on stage was like, guys, we've never had nobody volunteer before. Like, come on, guys, don't do this to us. And I looked to my honey and I was like, please, can I volunteer? And he was like, no. And so I was like really bummed out. And then a couple weeks later, we had broken up mutually. It wasn't anything bad. We just had kind of fallen apart.
Yeah.
And grew apart. And I went to the Facebook show that next week and I volunteered. Okay. And
Good for you.
Yes, I get chosen and I go up on stage and I tell my stories and I'm crushing up there. I'm getting the laughs, and that next day after the Facebook show, I get this audition coming in through Actors Access for a Sony feature film, okay? The story is crazy. A Sony feature film. And at the time, I only have commercial representation, okay? I'm like, how the fuck did I get this audition, right? And I'm thanking my commercial agent profusely. I'm like, thank you so much for submitting me for a feature. Thank you for believing in me. They're like, we didn't do anything.
We would never do that.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, guys. Like, I see you, you know, you don't have to be humble. And I, like, went to TJ Maxx and bought them all candles and stale candy. You know, like, the old candy they have at TJ Maxx.
Yeah.
And they were like, we really didn't do anything. So I go in for this audition, and like Vanessa Hudgens is in this movie, Joan Cusack, Bob Odenkirk. Like,
Oh my God.
it was meant to be a huge film, but Sony only did a limited release of it. Nicholas Braun's in it.
Oh my God.
It's called Freaks of Nature.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out Freaks of Nature. But so I go into this audition. I'm signing in. And there's one other actor in the room I don't really see, but I just hear from the corner somebody say, Natalie. I look over, it's my ex in the corner auditioning for the movie.
Oh my
Okay?
God.
Is that not insane? And then he's like, how did you get this audition? And I was like, my commercial agent got it for me. And he was like, what? Because, you know, he's like the CAA.
Despite them
It's
telling
like,
you so many times, you're
Yeah,
still
yeah.
like, no, they got it for me.
Yeah. And so we audition, we catch up a little bit, go our separate ways. I end up booking this movie, okay? I walk on set and go up to the director. I say, thank you so much for having me. And he was like, oh, yeah, you were hilarious in the Facebook show. And I was like, you saw that? And he was like, how do you think you got that audition?
Oh my God.
Is that not insane? All the things.
Oh
And then my
my God.
ex-boyfriend being the only other one in the audition room.
That's really wild.
And he was the one who wouldn't let me audition for the Facebook or wouldn't let me volunteer. But if he had let me volunteer that other time, I
You
wouldn't
wouldn't
have
have done it.
volunteered the next
No,
time.
that is like fate. Like, I believe everything happens
That's
for
crazy,
a reason.
right?
No,
Yeah.
that's so wild.
That's crazy, right?
That's wild. So conspiracy theories are real. Like,
Yeah.
No, that's so cool.
I mean, sometimes something so like magical happens that you're just like, there is no way somebody's not pressing buttons somewhere. But then I feel fucked saying that when
timing is divine. It really
yeah,
is.
but it feels like I always feel bad saying that, knowing like how like bad like some certain parts of the world are and
Yeah, I
like
know.
bad people's lives are. But I think both things can be true. Like serendipity can exist, and also you can acknowledge that like fucked up shit in the world is happening. And
Well, and this is, I don't want this to sound like bad or weird or anything, but like there is like the theory of like nirvana too, and like the idea of like the Buddhist belief that like we keep recycling through our lives to
Yeah.
learn different lessons.
Yes,
and like
yeah.
there's like the idea or the theory that like we after, you know, when we die, we go to the afterlife, we review
Yeah.
the life we lived, and then we choose the next one.
Wow.
Which I feel can be really a hard thing to swallow
Yeah,
because
yeah.
of like the hell that people go through. And you're like, well, why
Yes.
would anyone choose that?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
But when
yeah.
you're dead, who knows what your processes
what you're thinking
are,
up there, you might be
know?
you going fucking nuts when you're up there.
I know, you're like, fuck it, let me, you know, like,
Dude.
who knows? So, but not to say that's what I believe, but I do lean toward that theory of
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
reincarnation and like,
Yeah,
you know.
we're all just trying out different bodies and
Yeah.
going on different rides. I mean, maybe the people. This is gonna sound so fucked up to say. I'm gonna get canceled for saying that, but for saying this, but maybe the people who like. I'm not even gonna say this. Maybe I was gonna say maybe the people who have like unfortunate lives are thrill seekers. And like, you know what? They're up there in heaven being like, I want to like roll the dice on this one. I want to do something fucked up. And it's like,
yeah.
those are the spirits that like want to ride like the biggest roller coaster.
Yeah, and
They want like the hardest challenge they can have.
yeah.
That's
Well,
fucked up to say.
No,
right?
and
That's fucked up.
yeah, it's just we're
Oh
just
my God.
conspiracizing.
We're just conspiracizing and
But you've met people too, like where like the old soul, young soul thing.
Oh my
like,
God,
I
dude.
fully believe in that.
how about some of those kids remember stuff from World War II or some
I
shit
know.
like that? Yeah, it's nuts.
There was. Did you ever hear that story about we're ADDing so hard? But I love this.
Yeah.
I love this. So, have you ever heard the story of like the woman who it was a little girl or something, but she could remember where she used to live, and she remembered that like she had daughters, and she remembered like all these things about a
What? And then
previous
she
life.
found them?
Knew where the house was.
I've heard this. I've heard of this.
And then
Yes.
they went and they went to this house, and like 2 women lived there, and they were like
and the information was accurate, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
she had like the right names and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
and it happens like kind of all the time. So who knows? Who knows?
I believe in that theory the most. But you know what I
Yeah.
say I believe in? I think that like all good parts of different religions, like if it brings goodness,
Mhm.
then it is true.
Yeah.
If it's harming somebody else, then it's not true.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with ya.
roll. Yeah.
Okay, so back to
Oh my
back
my
to your
trajectory.
Yeah. So okay, so
Yes.
you do Nate. You
Yes.
get the special.
Yeah.
What was that what was filming that like?
Oh
Was it
my gosh,
crazy?
it was so stressful and it was a thrill. But yeah, it was just like a wild, surreal, like kind of out of body experience. And
Mhm.
it was nuts because Netflix hadn't bought the show ahead of time. They actually pitched it to Netflix to see if they wanted to produce it, but Netflix said, after watching a tape of the show, they were like, we don't know what we would do with this or
Yeah, yeah.
how it would translate. And so this company independently produced it, Comedy Dynamics, and then it was sold to Netflix after the fact.
Oh, okay.
But honestly, we had taken it out to like HBO, Amazon, like pretty much every single streamer, and everybody turned it down. And so I thought it was just going to be a direct release to the internet. And then in February 2020, right before the pandemic hit, I get this call that Netflix wants to buy it, and it was like 3 months after they said nobody wants it, so I just thought it was, done. But yeah, filming it, the day we filmed it, we shot 2 shows in a row, 1 hour apart from each other.
Gee, that must have been exhausting.
It was exhausting, and it was a nightmare a little bit because I only have one costume.
Oh,
and didn't really
yeah.
think that through, but it's like a special costume where like the pieces are stuff that I found
Yeah.
like at a vintage store or whatever. They're just like found pieces. I don't have to, and you have to wear the same exact costume in case you want to cut.
Right.
I used mostly the second show, but there is like a couple pieces in. We to tighten stuff up. We threw pieces in from the first show, but
And it's funny with like the audience participation of it all.
Oh,
because now
right.
this was it a random audience member
Yeah.
or was it pre-planned?
no, I don't.
So
plan
now that person
anything.
just lives forever on Netflix.
Yeah,
I love that.
He's a nice guy too. I think they might still be together. The couple that I wrestled.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing's planned. I hate using plants. I'm like
Yeah.
spiritually against it. But a lot of people think that there's no way you didn't have because I wrestle somebody. I wrestle somebody from the audience. Spoiler. But he gave me a great
He was great.
go at it.
He was great.
Yeah.
And I'm curious about that too. Like with these helicopters are so loud.
Hold for helicopter.
I know it's so loud. When you're clowning, because
Yeah.
I have never really studied clown. I was really like a dramatic. I was so into drama for so long.
You can tell because your acting skills are top notch.
Like that's all I really
You're
like.
so good.
I remember at one point you were like, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, "I just want to be an actor." And you're like, "That's it? Like, what do you mean?" And I was like, "No, but not in a bad way."
Not judging you.
No,
or
no.
Not, yeah. But I just think you're so talented.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
totally get what you. And for the longest time, I was like very like, no, I'm gonna be like the next Meryl Streep. Like, and I still feel that way. I really do. Like,
I think you could.
I could be. I think
Yeah.
I'm the only one. I'm the only.
Mackenzie for Meryl. 20,
No, if anyone
25.
plays her in a biopic, let me do it. But and then through TikTok is really where I started. But it was my acting teacher in New York, really, who was like, "You need to do comedy." He was like, "You're really funny," and I was like, "No,
Really?
yeah." And so I didn't ever do.
What?
I know.
So growing up, people weren't like, you weren't like the class clown, or you're so
I
funny.
was. That's the thing.
Oh, you were. Okay.
But
okay.
but I always just thought, well, I'm a theater kid, and that's what theater kids are like. You know,
right,
we're
okay.
we're silly, goofy, dumb, and I was
Yeah.
like the weird one in my friend group and all that stuff.
yes.
But I still was like, well, that's, so I didn't really lean into comedy. I feel like I'm playing catch up now, It's like I never did UCB in the city or Groundlings or, so.
Right, but that's fine. You don't need to
Yeah.
do that. Also, it's like, it's good that you have a different perspective. Like, so many people now who, like, came up through those training systems have, like, a similar style. And because
Yeah.
you didn't do that, you have, like, your style is so unique.
Thank you.
And uniquely you.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to like nail it down, but I'm
Yeah.
also I don't want to kind of nail it down either,
That's what's great about, like, you're an artist. You can be free to like
Yeah.
whatever your work is. You can present it however you like. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be anything perfect or nailed down. It could just be it is beautiful what it is.
And you know what's interesting is
Yeah.
like the industry, it kind of like, especially like in theater school and like when you're doing the casting director workshops and stuff, when
Yeah.
you're, you know, they kind of instill in you that you need to find your niche, and they
Yeah.
really try to hammer it in that like you
Yeah.
need to
What's your
really
type?
pick a lane, and then
Yeah.
but I have found that not picking a lane and like doing the things that are outside of the box is what propels you. So it's
Yeah.
a really tricky balance of like,
Yeah, it's what sets you apart.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you gotta just do your thing.
I
Like,
mean,
don't.
Yeah, don't let anybody put you in a box. I mean, I also had a vocal coach try to tell me that I was speaking incorrectly. Like
Really?
I it was when I first moved to Los Angeles and I had a vocal cord injury. So I was going to a vocal coach, and different from a speech therapist who I went to, and she really helped me. But yeah, I hemorrhaged one of my vocal cords at a show because I was doing this bit where it was a great bit, but terrible for my voice. And I just go like so hard.
Yeah,
and I
you
was such
do,
a
you
young
do.
idiot that I was like, thought I was invincible. And doing this piece where I have a baby doll that looks exactly like me.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody steals it away from me, and I acted it like as if it was a dramatic scene, like a real scene that somebody had kidnapped my daughter.
Yeah.
And I was screaming like in people's faces, like, who took my baby? Like, where's my baby? But it was like very real. But the comedy came from that you saw that it was just like a doll.
Yeah.
But
Oh my
but
God.
yeah, part of it was that I was committing so hard. Anyways, had
Yeah.
a vocal injury from that.
I've had a
I
vocal
regret
injury.
it so much. I regret it so much.
Did you ever recover from it?
I recovered, but I have a cyst now on my vocal cords that is, they can't remove it because it's on the inside. So most cysts or nodules are like on the outside of the cord, so they like cut it off. But mine is inside. In a way, it's like kind of lucky because I can like use it when I want, and it.
Interesting.
But whenever I have like a Lyme flare up, it causes like laryngitis because if if my lymph in my neck swells, it like pushes it.
Oh,
It
God.
pushes it against it. It like
That
flares
sounds
it up.
painful. Does it hurt?
No, you can't.
You
I
can't feel it?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Anyway,
Everything
this
comes
is
back
boring.
to life.
Yeah.
No, it's not boring at all.
but
what were we talking about?
oh my god.
We were talking about.
Oh, I had a vocal coach
Oh,
who
yeah.
I went to, and she was telling me I needed to stop talking the way that I speak because it's like too nasal, and I need to speak in it from a more neutral place. And I was just like, whoa, wait, like I just got a voice. This was when I just moved to LA. I was like, I had just gotten a voiceover agent, and I was like, they like my voice.
Yeah.
And she was like, have you booked any work with that voice? And I was like, not yet, but I had like just started, and thinking back, I'm like, fuck you, lady, trying to
Yeah.
make me like middle of the road. But I feel like that's what
Trying to pigeonhole you again, put you in a box.
in old school like acting schools, they tried to like make you very neutral, like you wear all blacks, theater blacks,
Yeah.
and they want your posture. I mean, I think like some stuff is makes sense, like having
Yeah.
a neutral posture and stuff like that. I mean, even a neutral voice that makes sense for like a serious
Yeah.
actor or theater, but whatever.
But for what you do, I feel
Yeah.
like you have such a unique voice too, where it's like it's you. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
And it's great. I mean, to segue a little into the commercial work you're doing now and have been doing for a while.
Yes.
Can we say the brand?
Oh yeah, you can
Yeah.
say
Progressive.
Progressive Insurance. Thank you for supporting me. And you know what? After my special Nate came out, I was sure that they were never going to have me back because I'm like, this is not good for the brand. Like having me in drag on Netflix, like, with my breasts out. I was like, surely they're not going to want me representing them anymore. And they were so supportive, and they were just like, congratulations, Natalie. We love the show.
Oh, that's really cool.
Isn't
So
that
you were
so
you were
nice?
working with them before that.
Yeah, I've been working on their spots since
God, that
20
helicopter.
yeah, since 2017.
Wow.
So yeah, super lucky to get that gig. And
honestly, they're some of the best. Like as far as commercials go, they're some of the best and most creative and funny commercials out there.
Their writing team and their whole team, the direction and the production team, everybody from the top down. It feels like a big family, and everybody. It's always the same people working on every single spot. Like it's the same crew every time, same AD, same director, same writers. And yeah, we've all just been working together for like me 7 years now, and some of them have been working together for 14 years.
That's amazing.
And yeah, they're just so talented and funny and creative. Yeah.
Damn. Good for Progressive.
Yeah.
We love to
Thank
see
you
it.
guys.
I've done voiceover
I
work
love
for them.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
For I think like radio maybe.
Oh, great.
I've done some stuff for them, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
off camera. But yeah, they're great. Love them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
so
actually have their insurance.
do you?
Yeah, they didn't ask me to even, but
Do you
yeah.
get free insurance if you do the
No, it's
commercials?
illegal.
Oh, really?
Flo doesn't even get free insurance.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not even a discount? No.
No.
Wow.
No discount.
Wow.
No discount.
I was thinking about that yesterday because I had to renew my insurance for LA. Now that I'm in California, I have to do all that. And I was like, can I get a brand deal?
dude, I probably shouldn't admit this, but I was rocking. No, I can't say.
We'll say offline.
Okay,
You can tell me
offline.
offline. And so now, okay, so so you did Nate, shot the
Yes.
special. It's available
Yeah.
on Netflix still. You can watch it, right?
Yeah,
Still
yeah,
there?
yeah.
I need
Hopefully,
to give it a rewatch. So now it's WEER,
yes, it's my new show I'm making.
and it's unbelievable.
Thank you so
It's
much.
so good.
Oh, thank you.
And where did the inspiration? Where does it start for you? Like with a
Yeah, well, so I'll just say for people who don't know, Weir is a romantic tragedy, a 90s rom-drom, I like to call it.
It's unbelievable. She's doing it again at the Elysian on the 29th of June or
Yes.
of May. So
Yeah.
go if you can go.
And I'll be workshopping it all summer too, but I play both characters, so my face is split down the middle.
Yeah.
And the idea first came to me when just last summer I was feeling like the urge to explore new material, like do something new.
Yeah.
I was just like booked to do a 10-minute set on Mike O'Brien's show. And he said you could do whatever you want. And I was like, I really want to make a new bit. And
Yeah.
I just had in my head like a car crash, like the image of a car crash. I start with images.
Okay.
And I was like, I want it to be like a boyfriend and girlfriend. And they get into a fight and then she dies in a car crash. I wanted to do something really tragic and kind of bloody. I
Yeah.
like doing like stuff that feels like a little bit shocking.
Yeah. Is that an element of clown?
No, it doesn't have
Okay.
to be like clown it's more of an element of clown's cousin, which is like Buffon.
Right.
But clown is meant to be like a little more innocent. Like I always think that like what I do it just has elements of clown, but there are definitely people out there who are more pure clown, like Vigo Venn or Julia Massley, who's actually she's coming to do her show in June at Elysian called Ha 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 Ha. You guys should see her.
Cool.
Or Furioso is
Yeah.
my friend, and he's coming in June to do the Hollywood Fringe. So definitely see
Nice.
those two. They are more pure clown shows, which I think has like more of an element of innocence to it.
Yeah.
And also in clown, you're meant to like be playing like a version of yourself or like your childlike spirit.
Yeah.
And so what I do is, adjacent, but I am wearing like a mask with these characters that I'm playing.
Right.
But fuck it, it's clown. I mean, Chad always tells me, Chad Damiani,
Yeah.
our
Who
clown
I did
friend.
a show with.
Yes, it was your first clown show,
It was my first
right?
clown show.
Yeah. He's my good friend, and we call him the Clown King, just to not like he needs an ego boost, but
He's the best.
yeah,
He's so great.
He's a sweetie pie, but I always tell him like I'm a little bit insecure about calling myself a clown because I feel like a little bit of an imposter, like, and I don't want to misrepresent the art form and like what it is, because what I do isn't exactly like what you're gonna learn like when you go take clown classes,
Right.
But he's like, fuck it, art is always evolving, like just call yourself a clown, and so yeah, I'm learning to like accept it more. I want to be a clown,
Yeah.
but I feel like I don't deserve to call myself that.
I think you do deserve
Oh,
it.
thank
I think
you.
you do.
Thanks, Mackenzie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a 90s rom-dram where at the top of the show, this couple is having a quarrel, at the strike of midnight on New Year's Eve from 1999 into Y2K.
Yeah.
And you kind of see their love story unfold after a tragedy happens. Oh, you were asking me how I came up with it. So I
asked, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to do a car crash scene. And I was talking to Chad on the phone, actually. I was like, I'm going to do this car crash scene. And I was like, I want to be a boy and a girl. Like, and I was like, I think I'm going to run off stage going back and forth. He was like, oh, just paint your face half and half down the middle. So he actually gave me the idea for that.
So cool.
And I was like, oh, genius. And I always give him credit for it. He was like, you would have thought of it eventually.
Yeah.
Like after maybe I would have after I like ran back and forth off stage, like throwing on different
That would have been so
costumes.
chaotic.
That would have been chaotic. But
Yeah.
yeah, and then it went really well the first time I did it as a 10-minute set. And I had done it a couple times at a 10-minute set, and then my friends Britannic. Do you know those guys?
Yeah. Oh, I saw them in Stamptown, and I've seen like an interview clip.
Oh yeah,
With you in there.
they're amazing. They actually cast me as the only other series regular in their Comedy Central pilot.
Oh, really?
It's like one of my first big things I booked
Wow.
when I first moved to LA. Yeah,
Yeah.
but we're still stay good friends. But they had me on their show. They gave me a half an hour, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll. They're like, what are you gonna do for half an hour? I was like, I'll try this car crash thing because I think I can expand upon it.
Yeah.
And then it just became obvious, like, that it was something that was so fun to play with that I was like, oh, I have to make an hour
Yeah.
with this and make like a full love story. But I was telling you I need to rehash the whole structure of the show because right now,
Yeah.
I guess this is a spoiler. Can I say?
Please. Yeah.
I mean, right now the structure of the show is like they get into this fight. There's this car crash, and then you flash back to the first day they met.
Yeah.
And what I'm really struggling with right now is I want to incorporate like more real moments from later on in their relationship. And I don't have time to get to that currently with like the time I have allotted, which is 75 minutes is my slot in Edinburgh.
Okay.
Because right now the first day they met takes up the whole show pretty much.
Well, and because I've seen it 2 or 3 times. I've seen WEER. But the first time the show completed and I saw the end. And then the next time I saw it, we ran out of time because it was the Netflix as a joke. And so we didn't get to the car crash part of it.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Well, or
back
did,
at the end?
Or did I think we just skipped.
I skipped some stuff.
Skipped a lot to get there.
To get to the end because there's the Romeo Juliet thing at the end.
Oh, it ran out of time again. Okay, hold on.
Hi, Kit Kat. There's the Romeo and Juliet thing at the end there, which I think maybe I did at Netflix. But anyway.
Yeah.
Don't want to give too much away, but
it was funny. Yeah, because they kept like dying and coming back and dying.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I felt so I was like, please just let them end up together. But I know, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I get so invested in your characters.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm working on a show structure that has incorporated the first day they met and has it bounce back and forth in time from like the first day they met to like 2 years in, back to the first day they met to like 3 years in, the first day they met. And so we can see these different moments in their relationship and it feels more integrated so you get like more of a fuller picture.
Yeah.
Because in my last workshop I did one right after Netflix as a joke. I tried this structure where you saw the first day and then their worst day. And I just didn't like how like linear it felt, like listy, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I really need to push the story structure and like have it feel more integrated. So I'm trying to do that right now, but I'm worried that it'll feel disjointed. Hi, Kit Kat.
Hi. This is the kitten.
Aww.
Anyway, sorry.
What's her name?
Oh, this is Milo. He's a boy.
Oh, okay. Hi, Milo.
He's gonna be.
Oh.
But we're close to wrapping. I could talk to you all day.
Yeah.
But I want to continue on with this though. With WEER.
Oh yes. What else do you want to know?
Oh well, I interrupted you when you were just talking.
Oh God, fuck. Well, I just want to. Yeah. Well, you didn't interrupt me. I just think I need to like. I'm struggling right now. I'm in artistic crisis with what the story structure is going to be, and I feel so much pressure to make it good for Edinburgh this year because there's just like buzz that I'm coming back after 6 years and stuff, and I'm like,
it's been 6 years.
Yeah, since I came back with my own
with
show.
your own show.
Yeah, I
go
directed.
with Stamptown, right?
I go with Stamptown every year. I just every year I go to the festival to do spots, and then last year I directed my friend Bill O'Neill's show, The Amazing Banana Brothers, which was a blessing. He's awesome and an amazing clown. If anybody gets to see Bill, Bill is more of a pure clown, also, I will say. But yeah, so I just feel like a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
For it to be good.
It's already so good. Like,
Thanks,
seriously.
Barman. Thank you.
When you take it, because I know right now it's, labeled as a work in progress.
Yes,
Will it be labeled that
No,
way?
it'll be a premiere. In Edinburgh, the final version, so like up until Edinburgh, it'll be considered work in progress, and then the world premiere is at Edinburgh.
Excited?
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I do have so much fun doing the show. Like, it's so, I mean, I feel like you probably relate to this because I think we operate in a similar way, but it's just so easy to come up with content. Like, I could do that for 5 hours because I'm just talking to I'm a crazy lady.
Yeah.
So I think you are too. And it's so easy to talk to myself for 5 hours. And that's all I'm doing, really.
Well, and that's the reason, like, a lot of my comedy content is always typically is between two people.
Yeah.
I love dialogue. I love like relationship and all that.
Yeah.
So I think that's a tricky element with me producing my one-woman show. And the reason why I've written in this invisible character is that I like need dialogue in some way.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about WEER so much is that it is just you, but it's you in dialogue with these two people.
Yeah.
So it's tricky. And that's something I can pick your brain offline about is like, how do you do it when it's just you and just you? Like, that's so it's just so hard for me to like wrap my head around.
You're gonna I think it'll come more easily to you than you think. I think
so
you're
too.
a natural.
I think I get in my head a lot about it, but at the end of the day,
get that.
I
feel like everybody has a little bit of healthy imposter syndrome, and it just means that you're like a normal person without a huge ego problem.
Yeah.
I think if you didn't doubt yourself a little bit, nobody would want to hang out with you.
Well, I know. And that's something else I have to compliment you on is when you're on stage, it's wild because there's no ego up there.
Oh, okay. I would hope.
I don't know
if
you feel that, but like from an audience's perspective watching you, I feel so safe and like taken care of, and not like I never feel like, oh, what is she gonna say to me or do to me, or like she's gonna put me on the spot, or she's gonna make me feel like
I never want to make anybody feel bad.
But you can feel that way in some audience participation shows. Where you're like, oh, what
people
they're gonna fuck with
down
me.
At the audience. Yeah.
But you don't do that. You
Thanks.
just lift everybody up, and it's just really cool.
Everybody's there to have fun, right?
Yeah.
And so like it's important to remember that everybody's come there because they love you and they want to like you're there to like make them feel joy.
Yeah.
And they just want to they're there because they love you and they want to have fun. So like to punch down at anybody, or especially like in my shows, like some people will get so excited so it feels like they're heckling me, but they just really want to play.
Yeah.
And so if I do have to shut down a heckler, I try to do it with kindness. I have told people to shut the fuck up before if they're getting like too much. Or, like every once in a while you'll get a bad egg that you have to tell to like shut the fuck up. But most of the time I try to tell like if somebody's heckling me, I usually keep in mind it's unintentional and they just are excited to play. And so I try to be as kind as I can. But
it's the best. And the last thing I'll touch on, because I know we're like going like an hour and a half on this one, but is
oh my gosh, we're having so much fun.
This is a good episode.
Yeah.
So you just went to South by Southwest.
I did.
With a show.
Yes.
What was the title of the show?
It's called The Broadcast.
The Broadcast.
And I made it with the Duplass brothers.
Yes.
And my friend Courtney Perosa. We wrote it together. And we did everything together. We wrote it. We directed it. We acted in it. We did the hair and makeup. We did costumes. We did
Who
props.
shot it?
Our DP his name is Armando.
Cool.
And I'm blanking on his last name.
Oh, that's okay. No, was he like a friend of yours? Did you guys hire him? Like how'd that?
The Duplass brothers had him.
Oh,
my God,
cool.
Armando. He's not gonna see this.
Yeah.
His name's Armando.
Armando. DP Armando.
Wait, I have to look now.
And did you guys do it and then the Duplass brothers saw it? Or?
Oh no. Okay, so Armando Ballesteros.
Cool.
Ballesteros. So Mark saw Nate on Netflix, Mark Duplass, and he messaged me on Twitter and said, would you want to Zoom about like making something? And so I had a Zoom with him, and he said, if you can think of an idea with 1 or 2 actors and 1 location, I'll make it.
Cool.
And so similarly to how you're like, I need dialogue. I was like, I don't want to be in something by myself. That'd be so boring. I was asked my friend Courtney, who I think is like one of the most talented people. And she's also like a very talented clown.
Yeah.
Courtney Peroso.
She's amazing.
Her
I've only
special's
seen her in
coming out.
Stamptown, but I need to see her one woman show.
Yes. Well, it's coming out as a special on
Is it?
Dropout TV
Sick.
pretty soon.
Vanessa 5000.
Vanessa 5000. Yeah, check that out. But she's just one of the most talented people I know. I think our styles like have a lot of synchronicity. So I knew she'd be somebody good to make something with. And we just write really well together. So asked her if she wanted to do something, and we came up with this project called The Broadcast. It is takes place in a dystopian future, or possibly a dystopian past. It has like a 1950s sort of vibe, like 1950s Lynchian Three Stooges vibe. Where it's these two female scientists who are trapped in a pod, and they're the only two people who are responsible for putting out the news on a world broadcast, but they're also the only two people who can like fact check anything. So they're like the world's source for science and information.
This is great.
They're never let out of their pod.
It's like high concept, but could be low budget.
It is so low budget.
Yeah.
It's the most low budget thing that's ever been made. It
Fuck,
was
I want to see it. I need to see it.
It was fun, but also like really stressful doing all the jobs, and we had to go to couples therapy, me and Courtney, after we were done. But we love each other so much. Yeah, I'm glad we made it. And I think it is really stupid. After the screening at South by, a lot of the reviewers said it was the most promising of the pilots that were screened. So that felt good. But all the work that was screened at that block was really excellent, I thought. Yeah.
Are there any next steps in the works for it?
I mean, it's shot. It's a 6-episode series, and it's completely finished. So they're just trying to sell it. But I don't know. I guess maybe it's too weird.
Is it a
something.
limited series, or is it? Can you go on with it? You
can go on with it, but it can also live as a limited series. The last episode kind of ties everything together nicely. So the last episode is their origin story of how everything started. So the characters' names are Margaret 17 and Irene 52.
Okay.
But each episode, their number ticks up.
Don't chew on the cord.
And so the last episode shows you Margaret 2 and Irene 1 at the very beginning.
Wow.
Yeah.
I need to see this.
Yes, it's I'll send you a link.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or I'll come to your house. We'll have our bonfire and we'll watch it.
Okay.
We'll do a day or something.
A little screening. Don't get jealous. We're gonna be hanging.
We'll vlog it.
Yeah. Well, it's fun hanging with you doing this.
Oh my God, this has been the best. I learned
you
so much about you and everything. I love it.
I love learning so much about you too. Next time I'm just gonna interview you.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I think the fans want to know more about Mackenzie.
Yeah. What do you want to know? No. Oh my God. It's so cool.
Wait, can I ask you something?
Sure.
So you're single. We're both devastatingly single.
Yeah, we're both looking for boyfriends.
Yeah, but if anybody's out there, hit us up, DM us.
If Samuel Beckett is listening.
Yeah. But creeps stay out of the DMs. Hotties only.
Yeah.
So only confident. The thing is, like, I feel like only creeps slide into the DMs. It's never anybody that I'm like.
And then it's like weird. They'll just be like, "Hi," and it's
I have this one guy that's like tells me he likes my thighs, and I'm just like, get out of here, dude.
Ew, I hate that.
Yeah, I blocked him now, but
ew.
So you are on this new dating app thing. I'm so curious about it. I know you're working with them.
Yeah, I'm working with them. So there's this app called Riz. I'm not getting paid to talk about it on the pod, but I will. So there's this app called Riz, and they reached out to me to do like a brand deal or whatever. But it's a dating show kind of. Like
Why is it called a show?
Well, because it's a
you
show
can watch
in the sense
everybody
that you can
talk.
watch other people.
That is so creepy.
It is. It's a very new. It's very like Love Is Blind. It's like you're watching a reality dating show, but which you can also participate in.
And have you liked anybody that you've matched with so far? Not really.
I feel like every conversation I've had has been kind of like
meh,
surface.
Because I haven't been on this app, but every other dating app I'm on, I try to keep the messaging pre-meeting them to a limited amount, to minimum.
No, me too.
Because like in the past, I would like be messaging these people so much, and then I meet them in person. There's no chemistry. So I'm like, why am I going to waste all this time messaging you? And we've never met. We have no idea. It's so easy to like have a fun conversation with somebody just texting.
See, and I don't know if it's me. I don't understand. I have not like gotten past like the first couple of hellos with people.
What?
They just will drop off. And I'm like, am I saying hi weird? Like, I don't know.
Dude, on Bumble, I will like, up until like a month ago, the woman had to say hi first on Bumble.
Yeah.
And
is it not that way anymore?
Guys can message first now.
Oh, fuck.
No. I know. Crazy, right? But I welcome it. I think like
I like when the guy
feminism
makes it first.
is equal playing field, right?
Yeah.
But so I would just message some, and they have these fucking stupid prompts like, what's the last thing that made you smile today? Pretty much everybody picks that.
Yeah.
So I would just say my dinner made me smile, or like I just had some chicken wings that I liked. And people would unmatch me for that. I'm like, what did I do?
No, I know, me too.
What did I do? You just say hi.
I just was like, hey, how are you? And they just don't reply. I'm like, okay, well, I'll just go fuck myself. Great.
Yeah.
No, I literally will go fuck myself.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Like I do every day.
Every day, all day.
Yeah. Not all day, but like 4 to 5 times a day.
Religiously.
6 to 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Oh my God. I love you so
on
much.
That note,
on
yeah,
that
I love
note,
you too.
Okay, so where can people follow you? What can you plug? Give everything.
Well, I'm bringing my show to Edinburgh this summer, WEER, at the Travers.
WEER.
I'll be there all month this August. You can watch my special, Nate, on Netflix. And you can find me on Instagram at NatDogCatDog and on Twitter at... Oh, wait, no. On
Instagram. NatDogCatDog.
That's my Twitter.
Oh, I was about to say.
You can find me on Twitter at NatDogCatDog and Instagram at Natalie Palamides.
Nice. Are you on TikTok too?
I'm on TikTok, but you can see old videos on TikTok that I posted from when it was Musical.ly.
Oh, okay.
And when I was like 25, 26 years old.
Yeah. TikTok is getting weird now. It's shifting. It's weird. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
I liked our TikTok.
Oh, I do too.
Let's shift,
Conspiracy TikTok. I'm in there. My entire For You page is like conspiracies and ghost stories and spirit rods.
Oh, you were talking about the spirit rods.
That's
okay,
what we're gonna. This is the last topic. So it keeps popping up. So there's this girl that I follow, Brittany Bento. I really like her on TikTok.
Yeah.
We're mutual friends, and she was doing the spirit rods for a while, and she doesn't do them now. But it's basically these 2 metal rods that you hold in your hand, and you don't move your hands. But they're like shaped like this, and they're like they point out. So you hold this side, and then you answer a question in which the answer has to be a yes or no. You're like, are aliens real? And they open wide for no, and they close for yes. But the hands don't move. So it's the rods only that are moving. You got to get into it.
Are you serious?
You got to get into it.
Have you tried it?
I don't know. I don't
have to look at these videos. You have to send them to me.
I will. I'll show you when we wrap.
I'll show you one. We'll have to. I'll have to come back so we can talk more about conspiracy.
No, we will.
Theories.
We'll have a whole conspiracy theory episode.
Okay, perfect.
Because I love it. This is Natalie, guys. Everybody follow her seriously. Watch everything she does. She's the best.
Thank you for having me, and I love you so much.
I love you so much.
Glad we're friends.
Thanks for coming. Me too. Oh my God. Thank God. Okay. Thank you for listening. Oh, and subscribe. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. If you like this episode, like it, comment on it, share it. Follow me on socials, and have a great day. Love ya.
Love ya.
Bye.